I started YouTube in 2018. It was simply a way for me to take my mind off of things. I was currently in another country pursuing my degree, and I was lonely, sad, heartbroken, and I did not want to be there. But at the time, I felt like that was the only choice I had, so I stuck it out. If I'm being honest with myself, I probably could have returned home and a similar found a similar scholarship, a similar route, just at a different location if I really wanted to. And I think that is what haunts me up to this day. I always feel like I'm not doing enough, or I fell just short of whatever I want to accomplish. And maybe it's like a self-destructive thing in me, and I've heard all humans have it, but the pattern is just eerie at this point. Because why, when things are looking up, I self-sabotage and risk everything. I think that it's only fair to myself that I give this an actual shot and try to actually put myself in a position where I could achieve at least one goal. When I started YouTube, it was a way to get out of the situation that I was in. It was a way for me to show my family and friends back home what was happening at the time, and I also wanted to share my experience with other people who were interested. At that time in 2018, I did not think of pursuing YouTube or singing as a full-time career. It was just a hobby and something that I really enjoyed doing. But fast forward to 2020, I went to do a cover at a Cuban producer's studio. His name's Felipe. Amazing. And I said, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I want to do this again. And then it took me some months, and before I knew it, I had a bunch of songs written in my notes app, and I had no instrumental. So I went to him and we started building the songs from scratch. There was some help in terms of like ideas and things to go off of, but everything was made from scratch. After spending some time with Felipe and working on my EP, Spectrum, I released it in 2023. I always wanted to share bits and pieces of myself with those who wanted to know, but I just didn't know how. And so first it was YouTube and making videos and doing pranks and things, then doing covers, and then it turned into making music. In the year 2023, I released it August 8th, I believe. And it was not what I expected. I thought no one would listen, and I thought people wouldn't even care. But fast forward like 6 months, and people were commenting. Whenever I was in Belize on holiday, like random people would say, "Bowing" on the side of the street, and 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 they would come and they would say, I love your music and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow. The random interactions meant so much because I did not hear it from people that I thought I would have heard it from. So it meant even more knowing that a random stranger could have that much appreciation for something that I did. Later on in 2024, I released a single called One Night. One night, one night, one night love affair. It was with the help of Randy Sutherland. I had a lot of fun doing it. The lyrics were not as close to home as another project that I had worked on in the past, but you know, it was a nice song, very chill, laid back, had a bounce to it, which was good. And I started to stray away from R&B and a little bit of dancehall, and I wanted to pursue something more in the pop genre. By this time, I had already graduated 1 year. Um, 1 year. I graduated in 2022, and it took me a very long time to get on my feet, like with my career. But in terms of having like a safety net, no, I didn't have one. Meaning, I didn't have a skill that I could fall back on if this career didn't work out. So it's not like I was studying physical therapy, but I was also like a web designer. So I could fall back on that at any point if that didn't work. No. All I had going, well, that's what I thought at least, was that career path. I wasn't looking at YouTube or music. I wasn't. So it was difficult in the first year, even year and a half. It was difficult. And while at home and while having to learn hard lessons, I was not motivated at all. And I gave up on YouTube completely for about a year, or a year and a half. I would have people who would reach out and say, I miss your YouTube videos, or when are you making new music? And that slowly died down as the months went by. It was less of, I can't wait to see a new video, or I really liked your last song. When are you uploading a new one? To, you still do that? Or, and I have found you a long time. What, you get married and have picnic or something? Classic Belizean behavior. But it was no secret at all that I had completely given up on myself in those areas. I always believed that I should focus on one thing and one thing only, because that's the way my brain is wired. So if I'm good at three things, I can only excel in one, because I can't split myself three ways. I didn't know the complexity of the human mind, our behavior, and I didn't understand that we can push ourselves to our limits and break barriers and boundaries in order to excel. In my mind, it was always black or white, yes or no. Either you want to or you don't. And that is what trapped me in a really sucky, gray, lonely, depressing place for a very long time. While I was going through my phases and everything, I was interacting with people, and I was forced to suck it up and try to move on and just worry about the task at hand, because that was what was most important. So I pushed my feelings all the way to the back, where they were barely even noticeable or visible to myself, and then continued on. This led to a lot more problems It led to me becoming way less confident, and I started to behave strangely. I was less bubbly, and I started to become this mean, isolated, defiant, almost rude, and just indifferent individual. And for years, that has been festering and festering, and it came to a point where I actually really started seeing how much I had changed and what it was doing to my relationships with the people close to me. At that point, I did realize that something was wrong, and I had to do some reflecting, and I knew that I needed to heal and work on myself thoroughly in order to get out of the hole I had dug, at least. And then I could work my way up into becoming a better person, being more open, being kinder to myself and to others. And all of that kind of came crashing down in 2025. 2025, I was turning 27, and I was reading a whole lot of things, or I was turning 28. Something really drastic hit us as a family, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with so far. It took a while to even stop random outbursts of like crying and sobbing. But before I knew it, an entire year passed, and it's easier now. There are outbreaks still where I see someone or I see something and it reminds me of the person I lost or we lost. But it also reminds me that her energy still lives on, and she is a part of everything still. And that makes me really happy, and it makes me very optimistic. The person I'm talking about is my grandmother. She also really, really liked my YouTube videos. Um, Even if she didn't like one, she'd call and she'd like talk about the video. And I kind of just wanted to make videos so, like I said, my family and friends could know what was happening at the time when I was in school. When I got home, I realized that there's no reason for me to continue making them because I'm here and they're gonna know everything that I do anyway. So that was one of the reasons why I paused on making any type of content. But this year, in January, I had made a pact to myself that I would be trying my very best to improve myself physically, mentally, and I'd try to improve my trajectory on YouTube, meaning I would post more videos, I would be more visible online, and I would try my best to be a YouTuber. This year started off well, but it was not going the way I planned. I also took another hiatus. I went on another hiatus this year, and I realized that there is no reason why am I doing this to myself? Is it that bad? Yes, the feelings that I have are valid. Some would say it's even expected, but why give up on yourself? So that's why I'm here today. This was kind of like my origin story for YouTube, my creation story. And it's really important that I shared it with you because I wanted you to know who I am and why I even started this. All of this is just to say, hi, I'm Balin May. This is my YouTube channel, and I am really, really happy and so grateful that you are here today. Whether you subscribed or not, I just want to say thank you so, so much. And you can be sure to expect a lot more from me this year and the years to come. It's important to push yourself and to realize that the only person in your way is you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.